The first being uh, Feline Follies, which is an animated short and is most notable for being the first appearance of Felix the cat, famed early
Felix the
animation
cat.
character. Even though, so that's like what I had read about it, but he's not actually called Felix the
Mm-hmm.
cat in this short.
No,
Yeah.
Master Tom.
So it does it. I mean, it's like it's the same character design, but I don't know if it really counts.
I don't know, but well, I mean, in Steamboat Willie, he's called Steamboat Willie and not
There you go.
Mickey
The same
Mouse. You know,
principle, though.
they had
Like,
flexible
yeah,
names. Flexible names.
yeah. This is an animator or animation studio that we haven't talked about yet. Pat Sullivan and the Pat Sullivan Studio, based out of New York City. And I guess there's some kind of debate over who is that even in my notes, or am I making this up? Over like who came up with Felix the Cat, whether it was Otto Messmer or Otto Messmer being the lead animator at the studio. He claimed to be the sole creator of Felix the Cat, but that's sort of been disputed, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely make a deliberate effort to get more animation in our lives in this show, because I love cartoons, and I'm excited to be able to cover them. And this one was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I thought, like, it's rough in a way. It's like really limited animation, but it's like super expressive, like what is there. And it's also just weirdly
it
dark.
really is. There's parts of this where I like wasn't even sure like what I was looking at. I'm like, no way that it can be intended to be what I think is happening.
I mean, this really goes to show that like animation wasn't thought of as a thing for children.
No,
At
and
this
I feel like a
point.
lot of what we've watched
Um,
supports like a lot of what we've watched has been like yeah, very very dark or sort of
yeah.
certainly
If you talk about like the sinking of the
right, yeah.
Lusitania, yeah,
But yeah, I feel like even the kind of more comedic stuff doesn't really feel like it's intended for children.
yeah. We're burying the lead a little bit, and it's because the lead is at the end of the short. But I feel like we should just say that what we're talking about is that this short ends with Felix the cat, beloved cartoon character, sucking on a leaking gas pipe to kill himself.
Even just saying that sentence out loud is it's so absurdly dark that it is just comedic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it's going for, I'm sure. You know.
It did kind of remind me of like later animated shorts like Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry. Kind of more so than
Hmm.
a lot of the stuff that we've watched so far, like the Winsor McKay shorts.
Yeah, it's definitely more in that kind of like cartoon comedy
Mm-hmm.
slapsticky kind of realm than yeah, this kind of like, I don't know, prestige sort of thing that Windsor McKay is trying
Yeah,
to go
it's
for.
weird to say about something that is so kind of simplistic, but it's more plotty than those. Like it's more about actually kind of telling a little story rather than just being kind of. I feel like the Winsor McKay stuff is very much being like, look at this cool new thing, animation.
Look at how hard I worked on it.
Yeah, look at how many drawings I did. We're gonna make sure you know that these are a lot of drawings.
The the basic plot of this short is that Felix the cat, who's called Master Tom, lives in, or he meets
Mhm.
what?
Well, there's a town name in this that I found very funny.
Oh, I didn't note it. What is it?
It's Pussyville.
I can't believe I almost went by that. Yeah. Master Tom of Pussyville goes. He meets a lady cat and serenades her, and then they go to the quote trysting place, and then it cuts to some other scene. Some mice do some stuff and dance around, and then Felix cuts back to Felix a while later. He wakes up and or he's run out of the house that he's in because the mice are partying and he's supposed to catch them, and then he sees his lady cat sitting in a puddle of blood on the ground, and she like looks over the side and then reveals that she's given birth to a dozen little baby Felixes, and then he runs away and tries to kill himself.
As opposed to fatherhood, which was his
Yes.
alternative. Yeah.
Yeah. Our deadbeat dad protagonist. One thing that I thought was cool about this movie, when you compare it to like other silent films, and this being like a cartoon, it makes a lot more like formal sense to do this, is that they use speech bubbles instead of title cards so
Yeah.
that they don't have to interrupt the action. Super cool.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it's because it's pre-sync sound being a very common thing. It makes a lot of sense. And this is also like I think comic strips existed as like a newspaper thing or like printed things, but it's like, it's kind of pre-comic books also. But it's cool to see that kind of like visual language being established across both at like around the same time.
Yeah, from the like comic strips that I've seen from this era, it seems like this is definitely, and this and a lot of other animation that's not McKay, maybe, it's inheriting a lot of like visual styling and formal stuff like from comic books or comic strips, I suppose, like as it's developing like what animation is in itself, which is maybe why it's like a little more herky-jerky than something where it's like necessary, like it's getting the comedy out of like poses rather than motions, maybe, because the expressive aspects of animation are still being explored, I would say.
That's still kind of a thing in animation of having like really strong poses, right? Because it's like setting keyframes, right?
For sure.
So I think that's like, I don't know, yeah, it's cool to see it develop in the way where it's so rudimentary now, but you can really see the places where they're starting to learn where they can kind of be more expressive with it, or
Yeah. And like one other kind of like fun, like formal thing that I noticed in this is that while he's like serenading the lady cat, the music notes appear in the air, and then they like grab them out of the air, sit on them, and then they turn into cars and they drive away, which is like a very like, it's like a very cartoony thing to do, but it's like wild that they're already like thinking that like abstractly about what they're looking at, you know, that they can make this kind of joke.
Yeah, it's establishing almost like cartoon logic.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a thing, and is I think one of the things that kind of reminded me of, like Looney Tunes, of that sort of, you
it's like duck amuck almost.
Yeah, throw a hole in the wall and then jump through it. Like,
oh yeah.
But yeah, this was fun.
I went to see Looney Tunes at the Symphony a week or so ago, and I wore a suit.
Fancy.
And everybody thought I was a little overdressed because I was wearing a suit. I kind of weirdly did not expect the whole like symphony orchestra to be overrun with children, but that's what it was. It was like a bunch of like 7-year-olds and me in a suit.
You were expecting like a very austere sort of like, we're going to the symphony to watch Merry Moodles and Merry Melodies, excuse me.
In some way, or at least a bunch of like hipster assholes like me, you know?
Right, yeah. I have a ticket to see Jurassic Park at the New York Philharmonic next month, and yeah, we'll see what the crowd is like there.
It'll be dinosaurs.
Probably, yeah. That's what I'm expecting.
That's funny, right?
That's a joke, right?